If you're searching for an app to create mind maps or diagram a concept, to categorize or sort or be able to move around concepts or terms, or to organize your thoughts or to show connections between concepts and terms, then Popplet Lite might be the right app for you. Let's get started by tapping on the Popplet Lite icon. When the Popplet Lite workspace opens up, maybe the first thing that I might want to do is change my background color. So instead of this light blue, if I tap on this blue square, I can tap on a different color to change my background and the color scheme for my Popplet. At any point, if I decide I want a different color, again, I can just tap on that colored square and come right back here and change my color scheme to something else. I can also change the title of my Popplet in the top left corner of the screen by tapping in the title area, backspacing over the title, and filling in what I want my title to be, which maybe is how to use Popplet. Now to move my keyboard out of the way, I can tap the icon in the bottom right corner of my screen, the keyboard with the down arrow, to get that out of the way. And then to create my first Popplet or bubble, I can just double tap on the screen and it will pop up for me. You can see several icons around the border of this Popple. One of them looks like a little rectangle. If you tap on that, this actually allows you to change the line color of your Popple. And then I can tap off on the background space to close that up. If I tap back on my Popple again to get those icons back, the second icon with a T allows me to add text to this Popple. So again, I can type in here. And now I can double tap on the screen again to make another Popple. And I can tap on the T there as well. So one of the ways we might use Popplet Lite is for mind mapping. And again, I can just continue double tapping out on the workspace and then tapping on each of these Popples and on the T icon for adding text. And we might also use it for summarizing a chapter, where students might write a summary of each section of the chapter. And I can tap on the background color again and then double tap to move on to my next Popple. And maybe we'd also use this for brainstorming a story. Alright, and again I'll tap on my background and then double tap again. And as I tap on this and then tap on that third icon with the pencil, I can sketch in this Popple. So maybe I want blue ink, and maybe I'll just draw kind of the typical mind map, the web kind of picture that we probably think of when we think of mind maps, right? So there we go. And you'll notice every time that I get close to the border of the Popple, it expands to give me more room to draw in there. Now again, I can tap on the background of my workspace and then double tap again to make another Popple. My fourth icon on the frame or border of my Popple looks like a little photo, right? It looks like the typical icon for adding a photo in most apps. If we tap on that, our options are to open our camera roll or photo library and get a photo from there. We can take a photo with our live camera on our iPad, or we could paste an image. And right now that's kind of a light gray because I don't have anything on my clipboard or in the memory of my iPad. But if I had been looking somewhere and copied a photo, maybe from the internet, then I could come here and I could paste that photo in as well. Alright, for right now I'm just going to tap on Open Library and I'm going to tap on my camera roll, and maybe I want a photo of an actual mind map, so I'll tap on that and I'll tap Done, and it adds that photo to this Popple. Now it's really pretty small, right, and that's pretty hard to see, but if I tap and drag on those triangles in the corner of my Popple, I can actually resize this popple so that it's large enough for me to be able to see what is inside of that photo. Now you've seen me several times add new popples just by double tapping on the screen, but I can also grab one of these linkers and drag that off onto the workspace and just let go of it to create a new popple that is connected to this one. I can also grab these linkers and drag them to existing popples to again show those connections between these different popples. I can tap on the background of my workspace and just drag my finger around while holding down on the workspace to see the different parts of my Popplet. I can tap on these individual popples and rearrange them and move them around and reposition them. And at some point I might actually want to use one of these popples in two places, so I might want to duplicate them. In that case, I can tap on this popple to select it. Then I can go to this gear icon and tap on Copy Popple. Tap the gear icon again and tap Paste Popple. And now if I zoom in on my Popplet by putting my thumb and forefinger on the screen and pinching together, you'll see up here at the top it added another popple just like this bottom one, summarizing a chapter. And maybe I want to change the border of this one to red for whatever reason, and then I can organize it down here if that's where I need it, or I can put it somewhere else. Now every time that you copy a popple, it generally pastes it at the top of your Popplet, so you'll probably have to zoom in or zoom out to be able to see that extra copy. Another way that you can see all of your popples at once, as you can see here, I can't see them all anymore. In the top left corner of my screen under the title, I have a little button, View All. If I tap on that, it will resize all of my popples so that they all fit on the screen. And at this point, I can drag them to rearrange them. I can tap on them to get those linker circles, and I can drag those linker circles off to these other popples to show the connections between them. When I'm all finished with my popple and I have it looking the way I want, I can tap on the export button in the top right corner of my screen, and now I can email myself a PDF of this Popplet. So I can tap that. It's going to activate this email client. I can come in here and I can type in the address that I want to send this Popplet to, and I could tap on send, and it will email a copy of that Popplet off as an attachment in the form of a PDF. I can also tap on export, and I can do the same thing, email a JPEG or a photo of this Popplet off. I can also tap on save JPEG to save a photocopy of this Popplet to my photo gallery or my photo library. So I can tap on OK, and now if I went and looked in my photos, there's a copy of that Popplet right there. So I could always do something with this later, like turn it in, send it to someone, share it, incorporate it in some other sort of work that I'm doing. When I go back to Popplet then, I can come in and I can tap on any of these popples, and I could go back in and I could edit any of them. And you can actually type a lot of text in these. The examples that I typed here are all very short, but you could type an entire paragraph into these little popples. If you wanted to delete any of these popples, you can just tap on the X on the border of the popple and then tap delete, and it will delete those popples for you. There are also some built-in help tools. If you tap on the question mark in the top right corner of Popplet, then you can kind of zoom in on this popple that explains to you how Popplet works and what each of the features are, the linkers, coloring the border, typing, drawing, adding photos, etc. When you're all finished looking at this, you can tap back on Return to My Popplet at the top, and it will take you right back to your own Popple. Now, if I was completely finished with this and I didn't need it anymore, I could just quit the app, and the next time I open the app, it will come right back to this Popplet. Or if I know I'm finished with this and I don't need it anymore, I'm not going to use it again, I can tap on the Clear All button on the top left of Popplet, and then I can tap Clear All, and it will delete this Popplet.